Jennifer Priest here with a fun tutorial on how to make some vintage shabby chic style wedding favors using stamps from Something Tattered and ink from Clear Snap. So here I have my Sizzix Big Shot, a piece of ivory colored mat board, and one of Eileen Hull's dies, and these are really cool because they cut out like really fun shapes. So I've cut out 2 sets of this apothecary jar favor, and I'm using a wallpaper stamp from Something Tattered, and I've inked it up with some Color Box Graphic 45 Decades Antiquing ink, and this color is called Venetian Lace. Now I'm pressing it down only slightly because I want a distressed image on there. What's really nice about this stamp is you could get a really nice crisp image, and you can see that on a scrapbook page that I'll be sharing later this week on my YouTube channel. So to give a more distressed look, I only press the stamp a little bit, and then I'm using the Color Box blending tool with more of that Color Box Graphic 45 Decades Antiquing ink on the edges of this ivory mat board. So this gives a really cool vintage effect. The paper's ivory, and then this color just looks really nice and aged, and has that great antique look. So now that that's all inked, there's another piece that goes to this die, and this is the box that actually forms the favor between those apothecary jars. So I'm again using that Something Tattered wallpaper stamp with the Decades Antiquing ink to create a pattern on the box, and then I'm folding it on the score lines. So what's really nice about this die is it will give you score lines even on a really thick piece of mat board like this. And then I'm using that Color Box blender to again antique the edges. This is another Something Tattered stamp. It's a wreath shape, and I stamped it on some ivory cardstock, again with that Color Box Decades Antiquing ink from Graphic 45, and I'm just fussy cutting around this little wreath. Once the wreath is cut out, I'm just going to ink the edges again with the Color Box blender in that coordinating ink. I'm going to go ahead and put together the box itself right now. So I'm using Crafty Power Tape from 3L Scrapbook Adhesives, and I'm putting that on each of these tabs that's going to form the box that goes in between the 2 apothecary jars to make the favor box. So this is a really fun project to do. You could use this for your wedding favors, for favors at your bridal shower, put little candies in there. You could make one of these and put pens in it at the registration or guest book table at your wedding, or even just use these for a fun like shabby chic type tea party. So you want to make sure this is really strong, so that's why I'm using Crafty Power Tape. If you are somewhere that's really humid, you might want to reinforce this a little bit with some hot glue if you're worried about the humidity affecting the tape. So you're going to fold up that little box inside and press it to one of the apothecary jars, and then you'll press the other apothecary jar to the other side. So you're kind of sandwiching the little box in between the 2 jars to create this little stand-up favor box. So now I'm going to use some 3L by Scrapbook Adhesive foam squares to add that little wreath to the jar, and I want to give it a little bit of dimension, so that's why I'm going to be using those squares. Now another Something Tattered set that I have is this really cute cake, and so I thought that'd be really cute in the middle of the wreath, so I stamped the cake again with the Decades Antiquing ink on that ivory cardstock, and then fussy cut it out and added it to the center of the wreath with those 3L by Scrapbook Adhesives foam squares. Again, I distressed the edges with that Graphic 45 Decades Antiquing ink using the Color Box blending tool. You know, again, everything should have that distressed kind of worn, tattered look to it. So this is a really, really cute favor jar that you could make for anything, even for, you know, a baby shower. I'm going to use some ginger ale smooch spritz here. I set my apothecary jar inside of a Color Box color catcher, and this is going to add some shimmer and shine, and the ginger ale color has a real vintage feel to it. Then I just tied a little bow with some twine and added that with a little pearl to the bottom of the wreath with some hot glue. So there you have it, super easy, fun favor that you could make lots and lots of if you're having a party. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon.